archipelago. Today is not a good bilingual Faye day. Hello, my name's Faye and I'm really excited for Shorty September. There are 12 amazing reading prompts by Bert and Heather, who are hosting the readathon in September, which I will link to down below, and I won't talk you through because their video is so funny talking you through the prompts, and they are really quite creative all around shorts. So I instead will just talk to you about the books that I have on my shelves unread, under 200 pages, that I am hoping to get to, would like to get to. That's always nice about short books. We can be very hopeful, can't we? And I would really like it if you could help me out, point me in the direction, which books sound good to you, which ones have you maybe even heard of before. And I've got 3 stacks sort of generally themed together that make sense to me in my brain, and I thought we would just start with fiction. I have loads of translated books in this selection as well, which is fun. It's still being Women in Translation Month, so let's maybe start with some translated women, why don't we? I have The Road to the City by Natalia Ginzburg, that's it, an Italian author. Apparently like one of the most influential female Italian writers in the 20th century. I've read nothing by her. Mainly picked this up because there is a character in here called Nini, which is my like fond nickname for my grandma. So I picked this up a while back in the bookshop. It has like a washi tape on here because I tore it accidentally, and would like to get to this one. I also have the German translation of Yasmina Reza's. In German, the title is Glücklich, die Glücklichen. In French, it was Heureux, les Heureux. I do not know what the English translation is. I didn't check it. I'm sorry. Much like Yasmina Reza generally writes about, this is sort of mundane, every life situations that then sort of turn sour. This one starts off with a fight between a couple in the supermarket over cheese. I've read the first chapter and then never read on, but I would like to read this one. This one, my copy was translated by Frank Heibert into German from French. And then I also have a French translation, Pigtails by Marie Darrieussecq. And this one is again short. That's the whole point of all of these, and it sounds as if this is going to be a sort of feminist Kafka-esque story, this woman who finds herself turning into a sow. Apparently it was quite the outrage when it came out. I think I want to say in the late 90s, 1996, the French Truismes, I don't know how to pronounce that. The French originally was published. This is the French translation that I have here. This was translated from French by Linda Coverdale. Thanks, Linda. Then I have another woman in translation, translated by a man. Maximilian Murmak translates Eeva-Liisa Manner's Das Mädchen auf der Himmelsbrücke. I think this has been translated into English as well from Finnish. I just really love these editions. Googles is a German independent publisher. This is the story about a young girl as she sort of grows up and is very sort of lonely. It promises really like beautiful language, and I think it was a bit of a cover plus publisher buy, and I bought this back in April, so I want to finally get to this. Also weren't like spending the amount a hardcover independent published book is worth. And then I have, this is not translated, this is an Austrian author, so I have the German original. Valerie Fritsch writes Herzklappen von Johnson & Johnson, about a woman who comes to terms with, struggles with her son not being able to feel, experience, perceive any pain. So no sensory, he has no sensory feedback to when he experiences pain. I don't know, I just thought that premise was really interesting. And then I have a bit of a classic, and I believe modern classics are one of the prompts that we are given in Shorty September. I have a trouble with Lichen. I always struggle with the pronunciation of this word by John Wyndham. I've read 2-3 other novels by John Wyndham. They tend to be quite short. This one, I think, only just goes over this is 204 pages. I'm going to say this is on the cusp. Under 200 was like my definition, whatever. This is the story of 2 scientists who discover some kind of form of lichen that can either halt or even reverse the aging process. And then it goes into the ethics of what to do with this discovery. I think I've read The Day of the Triffids, definitely John Wyndham's most well-known sci-fi novel, and I've read Chucky, which I also liked. Have I read more? I'm not sure. I really like these Penguin editions, and I think that he is he's well known. He's not underrated, but he's a little bit of a dated science fiction author, but I do really like the ideas behind the plots. Yeah, so these 6 are the novels under 200 pages, around 200 pages, that I have on my shelves. I will show you my second stack, that's the word, my second stack of books. That makes sense that I just briefly cover all of them before we move on to non-fiction. This is the second stack. I collected the Penguin Great Loves books just because I like how they look, and I like the premise of having these short classics by incredibly well-known authors and writers. Often these are stories that are less known by them, though, all on love. That was a not very eloquent description of what these books are all about. I've read about half. I've not read the other half. And I won't really go into what they're all about. A, because maybe you even know them, you know the authors at least, and they're short. So yeah, maybe just shout out to me in the comments which ones you think are worth my time. I have Doomed Love by Virgil. I'm going to say Virgil. We have Magnetism by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I'm not a huge Fitzgerald fan. We have the Kreuzer Sonata by Leo Tolstoy. We have Sigmund Freud's Deviant Love. Giacomo Casanova's Of Mistresses, Tigresses and Other Conquests. Short stories, or just the story of Casanova? I'm not sure. Thomas Hardy's A Mere Interlude. Thomas Hardy does not promise to be very upbeat. William Trevor's Bodily Secrets. Cures for Love by Stendhal. This is a French author, right? I think so. And Forbidden Fruit from the Letters of Abelard and Heloise. Is that how I want to pronounce that? I don't know, that's what I'm going with. So also a few translated ones in this stack. And I'm not really sure, like none of them are particularly calling out to me, to be honest. I just mix and match every now and then when I feel like something short to read, and September is all about that. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of these, or if there's like one of these authors that you think I should just give a go, and then I can discover more of their backlist if that goes well with me. And then I have a little stack of non-fiction books that I would like to go through with you. I have Underground by Alexis Pauline Gumbs. Subtitle is Black Feminist Lessons from Marine Mammals. And this is such a like random non-fiction book, I think, very experimental in its format. And having read Pod by Pauline Leland, what was her name again? Pod, a book, a sort of dystopian book about this pod of dolphins, made me then want to pick up something even more experimental, non-fiction, that maybe is a little bit more academic. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from this one, but somehow I think this is a cool concept. I also have two very short German ones here that I've claimed I wanted to read for a while and just simply haven't. Again, we have an independent publisher, Mattes and Seitz, Berlin. We have Jens Balzer's Ethik der Appropriation. These are basically essays on a topic, this one on the ethics behind appropriation. And we have Kinder haben by Heidi Lutosch. This is an essay on her experience of being a mum, the pressures of feeling like completely fulfilled in caring for children and parenting, and that it's actually not all that, I think. Then we have Architectures of Healing by the small press Kyklada. I'm not sure. I believe this is a Greek, very small print imprint. That's the word I was looking for. And I think they only have 6 things out, all sort of essays, ruminations on topics, very much rooted in that geographic area and the Aegean archipelago. Today is not a good bilingual day. I keep on looking up how to pronounce that word. This, I believe, sort of mixes architecture and mental health, and maybe just from going what it says on the back, sort of insomnia. I'm not sure. This is like one that's like way out of my comfort zone. A friend of mine got me this, but I think it's interesting. Yeah, the subtitle is Cure Through Sleep, Touch and Travel. And yeah, it was exciting to discover like different imprints. We have Pauline Amanage, Ich muss drüber sprechen. This is translated from French. So many translated works here, where this French author talks about an abortion that she had. My copy is translated by Nicolas Dennis. And 2 more. Another translated one, Tove Ditlevsen Kindheit, or Childhood, I believe, in English. It has definitely been translated. I'm not actually sure whether to mark this as non-fiction. It is heavily influenced by Tove Ditlevsen's own experience growing up, working class, wanting to be an author in the 20th century in Denmark. But it also sounds as if this is sort of very much like about like the protagonist going through her childhood, and I'm not sure, you know, is this a memoir or is this autobiographical fiction? I'm not sure. I'm lumping it in with the non-fiction here. I've wanted to read some Tove Ditlevsen for a while now, and why not now? I am also going to Denmark in September, so that would be perfect. And then a new addition to my bookshelves is The Instant by Amy Liptrop. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. This again is non-fiction about her sort of her fleeing her private love life, despair, and moving to Berlin, where I live. And yeah, this one, and I think Amy Liptrop's previous book were both listed for the Wainwright Prize, and I love following that prize. I like reading nature writing. I like when it sort of muddies the waters of sort of non-fiction, fiction. Is it a nature book? Is it just the person experiencing the nature around her? I don't know. I've heard really good things about this. And yeah, living in Berlin, I think there will be some like extra personal connection. At least I'm hoping there will be. I'm so excited about the options that I have. I love a short book. Let me know what you're planning to read in September and which ones of these that I'm surrounded by I should prioritize, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.